So hello and welcome back to the Unforced Error. We're here this evening to recap round two, which is not long finished, thanks to a late night game involving Daniil Medvedev, and there'll be lots of talk about the late games once again, no doubt. Round two had a lot of surprises. Round one didn't have many, so round two is making up for it. So we'll have a brief discussion of some of the kind of headline games that stuck out. There was many, and we'll turn our attention to round three then soon after. Let's start off with the men's side. Young Frenchman called Kazoo, apologies for the pronunciation, beat Holger Rune in a phenomenal game. Two young guys, they played each other in the juniors not so long ago as well, and two grown men out there. Their physicality was amazing. Rune didn't play bad. Kazoo played very, very well. The selection of points, the physicality that he used, and really took it to Rune. Wasn't intimidated, wasn't scared, and Rune really had a comeback as well. There was momentum shifts throughout the game, and both played really, really well and a great game, and another sign that the future of tennis is very bright. Alcaraz beat the Italian Sonego, and in another amazing game, Alcaraz was pushed, found a way through it, used his physicality. Both players used a lot of different shots, and tried to move each other around the court as much as possible. A few amazing shots from both players, right on the lines, the use of the corners. Alcaraz had a one-handed backhand around the net in response to a really tough cross-court forehand, and it's simply amazing. It's the trajectory of the ball, and it's how easy he made it look. He had another one a bit earlier, and it was nearer the net, and it was similar. It was coming around the net. Now there's more space on that side, but it's crazy. You'd actually have to look at it a second time to realize what he did. It was amazing how easy he makes those kind of shots look. But he was tested, and I think it was a great game because both of them were kind of enjoying and applauding each other at the different shots, and that was really amazing too. Stefanos Tsitsipas bet Thompson in another long game, and Thompson played very, very well, and the crowd got behind him, and Tsitsipas did really well to get through that. He was talking in the press conference about a momentum shift, and where he wouldn't have always kind of dealt with that before, where he's ahead and the momentum gets shifts back, the crowd get on his opponent, and so on. And he's playing a really good game, moving well, and held his nerve in the important moments. So I think Tsitsipas, if he can keep connecting with the ball and the timing that he has now, we could see him go far again if he can keep that rhythm going. Another player who's playing well is Casper Ruud, who we haven't talked about much. He played another Australian Max Purcell, and there was a lot of tie breaks in that. Another long game. Casper Ruud is looking in great condition fitness wise. His movement, his defensive skills are great, and he's also connecting his amazing forehand really well, and if anything, playing with more aggression, and somehow has worked on his defense as well. So looking really good. Be interesting to see him come up against a similar type seeded player now, because looks can be deceiving early on in rounds as well. Other than that, Zverev won a long game. Novak Djokovic won. He had another kind of tough game. He found his way through, but certainly wasn't all easy. Oj Aliassim won, and Taylor Fritz as well. So they're kind of all moving forward to round three. I think Djokovic is playing Echeverry in round three now as well, and that should be a good game. Echeverry should keep him out on court for another few hours. So you don't know how this is going to affect kind of in 1 week's time if he makes it that far, which I'm sure a lot of people would have him. On the women's side, then we got a selection of surprises, if you will. A lot of the top seeds out. Rybakina, Pegula, Ons Jabeur and Zachary are all out, so they're all inside the top 10, and you would have got good money if you were betting on them all to lose. Blinkova bet Rybakina in a final set tiebreak, which was the longest in singles Grand Slam history. It was 22-20 in the end, and played an amazing game. Had a very similar game actually to Rybakina. That's why some of the rallies went on for ages. But both connected with their shots really well, and proved for a great game. It was to and fro, but she just had the nerve when it really mattered, I guess. In a tiebreak like that, it goes on so long that it's worse to lose in that sense, because you've obviously played so well as well to be going that far. So Rybakina will be disappointed, but all credit to Blinkova, who goes through to the next round. Burrell beat Pegula. Pegula will be disappointed. Obviously, a straight sets loss, so tough one for Pegula. Iga Swiatek had a great game against Danielle Collins. That was a 3-setter, so another tough one for Iga, but she made it through. Danielle Collins played absolutely amazing. She made the final here before, and she announced that this will be her final year on tour. So it's kind of bittersweet for her. She played a great game and got the applause of the crowd, but it'll be sad because she always plays great on hard court. So I hope she has a great last season, as she's been a great player on the tour for many years. The biggest shock of the lot, if you want to call it that, was the young Russian Mira Andreeva beating Ons Jabeur. Andreeva kind of burst out last year, and she started off in the juniors in the Australian Open last year, I think, and then made the transition kind of in the summer, and we were already talking about her. She was making into a couple of rounds and no one expected her, and bet Ons Jabeur. A tough loss for Ons Jabeur. Mira Andreeva is a star in the making, and she will have a great career, no doubt, if she keeps going the way she's going. But for Ons Jabeur, that's a heartbreaking loss, really. In the second round, she wouldn't be expecting that. It's tough to analyse Ons Jabeur. Where's it all going wrong? People are saying it's the hangover from Wimbledon still last year, and that she wants it too much, and it's a hard one. I always hesitate to criticise people for trying too hard, but she's a great player, a lot of creativity, but I suppose has to ask some hard questions now of herself. Her and her team have to really sit down and ask themselves where they want to go, and how they want to move forward, if they need to change anything, if they what do they want, because they'll have to wait another while to win a Grand Slam, obviously, after this, and it'll be interesting to see what comes out of their camp soon. And Maria Sakkari lost to Avon Iniesta, and was beaten again by a great player. It just shows the depth of the tour. All these top seeds, and some of them didn't play that poorly. Rybakina certainly didn't. Danielle Collins certainly didn't. It just shows the depth. The top seeds can go out if you're not quite there, or someone has a great day like Blinkova did. So that's a brief recap of round 2. So we turn our attention to round 3 next. I'll check in at the weekend for you. I will leave the written pieces in this one. One of them's already out of date, about Caroline Garcia. She lost in the second round, unfortunately, but it's about her first round game, and it's about the reigning champion. So I will try and link it this time. I did have some technical issues, but as always, thanks for listening, and we'll see you soon. Enjoy the tennis, get some sleep.